Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Evolve with Emily show. I am your host, Emily Hayden, and this is actually my third interview in Las Vegas, and it's my last interview that I'm doing here before I'm heading out. So I'm pretty stoked because today we have somebody who is pretty incredible at a lot of different things, and I'm really excited to get into it because I feel like my personality is very much like that in the sense that I like to be involved in a lot of things, and I know a lot of the audience, you guys are that way as well. So I feel there's a lot that we can learn from the insane amount of life experience that this person has. Today we have on someone who is an entrepreneur, he is a business owner, he is a father, he's a rapper, he's an actor, he is in the fitness industry, he's with First Form, Icon Meals. You guys, this dude does it all. So let's get into it. Mario Canon, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk to you today. So we look at you today, right? And if you guys are watching on YouTube, which you should definitely watch on YouTube if you're not, because the studio setup here is, right?
It's dope. I love it. I love it.
You got to look, right? Like when you look at you, you have a look. You have this whole vibe going on. You got this dope chain. Like there's a whole thing here, right?
Yeah.
It didn't start this way though.
No, it did not. No.
Like what did you have to do to get to where you're at now, to where you confidently portray who you are?
I mean, first and foremost, it's just never giving up, you know, in general. So the beginning, of course, everybody has like humble beginnings for the most part, right? If you appreciate, you know, where you are. But I started off just doing my thing in music and just kept pushing. You know, I never stopped, no matter how hard I got. I mean, I'm telling you, times I was homeless, sleeping in my car, no power. I'm still recording music. I'm still dropping videos, still pushing my brand. And at the same time, fine tuning and growing, you know, as a man through my life experiences, right? So I was just using all that, yeah.
What made you have that desire to get better, right? You're like literally sleeping in your car. You don't have power. How do you have the mindset, I need to get better as a man, let alone like I need to continue writing and rapping and all these things, right? Like where's that mindset come from?
Well, you're passionate about something. For me, it wasn't about trying to be rich or have money, or it wasn't about material possessions. It was more of a journey of growth for myself. Okay, so the music was a passion, was an art. It gave me purpose. Now that purpose could become profitable, right? Because if your purpose is, you know, it's true and passion, then and eventually it will reward you in some way, shape, or form. And it's rewarded me meeting people like you, and doing great business. So I don't gotta have a hit song. I have, you know, great numbers online, right? But I don't have a hit song to be successful in music. I found a different way to do it, and that's through your network.
That's so good. I feel like if people can just extract this from what you just said, is that people think, you know, whatever their respective field is, for you, rapping and music, right, is one of many. But in that one, it's like people would just automatically think, oh, to be successful, you have to be the #1 song and this and that. And it's like, I think it's important to reshape what success means to you and to allow yourself to thrive vibrantly in that lane that is successful to you, you know? So I think what you've done is really shaped it in a way that like benefits your life in every way. It's that creative outlet. It's, you know, you are wildly successful. Let's talk about the fact that you just went on tour with Twista.
Yeah.
Who else was on stage? I heard there's some pretty big names up there.
So it was crazy, man. Shout out to Twista. I love you, man. You're dope. Shout out to Raw's manager, and shout out to my manager, D. Daryl Sturgis, man. He put this, you know, he's a dope dude as well. But Twista had me meeting. I was meeting everybody. Ludacris, you name it. PD Pablo. I was like Mystical, Juvenile, Scarface, Trina.
Wow.
I actually played at the Lovers of Friends Festival here in Vegas.
No way.
So, and I'm pretty sure I was probably the only independent artist on that stage. You know, like
wow.
And Lauryn Hill, Snoop Dogg, Nelly. You know, come on, who wasn't on those stages, right?
That's awesome.
And keep in mind, I was, you know, heck, 10 years ago, I couldn't even afford a drink here in Vegas.
Wow.
You know? So it's a beautiful, it's surreal.
Take me to that moment, right? 10 years ago, you can't afford a drink. Now all of a sudden, you're literally like, it's the moment where you're walking on stage and boom, it's time to go.
Yeah.
What does that feel like?
I had butterflies. It was like, okay, I'm backstage, you know, I'm experiencing something different because, you know, I used to be the consumer more, right? Or the fan out in the crowd. So now I'm in the back with all the stars, the Mayas, the Cassies. You know, we're going to our trailers. So we pull up on the stage, get off We get off our golf cart. Me and Twister walk up, and it's like 40,000 people.
Whew. What's that energy like?
It's incredible, especially when they're locked and engaged with you, and then having somebody like Twister to segue that.
Yeah.
It's so much easier when you have somebody that supports you.
Yeah.
That's legendary, that has made their name in the industry in which you love and which you participate
Yeah.
in. So
Wow.
it was crazy. I had the heebie-jeebies. I was shaking a little bit, but I like getting nervous. The moment I don't get nervous anymore, I probably need to give it up because then I don't have that passion for it anymore.
Absolutely.
I like getting nervous.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think when it excites you that much, like people can see it as different things. Like they could label it like anxiety or fear, and maybe there is some truth to some of that. But like you could just repackage that into like excitement and passion for what you're doing. Like I'm so excited to go do this.
Yeah.
You know, and instead of being fearful and letting that hold you back, like really just rechanneling that energy and say, I feel anxious. Say, well, what if I just decide I'm excited about it actually, and I go put this energy to work?
Yes. No, I love
So,
it.
okay, you did not have the smoothest upbringing. You grew up in a pretty rough area,
Yeah.
right? So talk to me a little bit about just your upbringing and kind of what you went through in your younger years and what kind of like led you down, you know, the path that you're on now.
So I grew up in Springfield, Illinois, and I came from traditionally a single parent home. My mom was married for a little bit, but my cousins were my siblings. So my brothers, we did everything together because those were my siblings at the time. That's all I knew. Played ball all through school. After high school, got a scholarship to play basketball at a couple of schools, but I didn't take it. I took an academic scholarship to University of Illinois at Springfield, and that's when I started veering off even more into the streets, and that's when I suffered a lot of hardship. Right, I started losing everybody around me I loved. I lost my closest friends my family to gun violence. I say friends because we're more than family, we're blood, but more than that, and to suffer those losses at the same time, still struggling too, right? It was hard, really hard. And that being in poverty, and when I say poverty, I mean like mental poverty, and financially in poverty, man, it could take a toll on you. And you start, when you lose people you love around you, not once, not twice, but 3+ times. You start it will take a toll on you, and you have to really look in the mirror and say, what am I going to do about it? How can I make a difference? Because obviously I'm still alive for a reason. So now my purpose is bigger than me. I can either go this way or that way, or I can just sit. But, I'm going. But growing up in Springfield was I don't want to say like it was just so bad because I didn't know where I didn't think I was in the hood.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
My mom worked her butt off to make sure I had some of the nicest stuff. But stuff doesn't equal safety, right? And it doesn't help cultivate the mind. But I mean, some people look at it as you in the hood. I looked at it was great.
Right.
Look at it, the ghetto, whatever you want to call it. And that was my home. And I'm proud of it. I'm proud of where I'm from,
Yeah.
So
it shapes us, and I think it's sometimes we go through challenging times or hardships or whatever it might be. And it could be easy to look back on that and feel resentment towards that, right? But I think when you have a growth mindset, you're able to reshape that and actually be thankful for the good things that it brought out in you. I think about some of the hardest things I've been through in my life, and I spent some nights in my car and stuff too.
Yeah.
And I know what that's like. And I am so much stronger after having to go through some of those things that I went through than I would be without it.
Definitely.
And it's not just like I'm stronger and I have this like confidence. It's like, you can't fuck with me.
Yeah. And I use that too. I use that when I deal with like online hecklers now and people who hate, that those shade. It's like, man, you just making sounds with your mouth. I'm in the game, baby. So you're trying to distract me from my purpose, from my goal. So I'm on a path, and you're trying to get me off that path with words like, hey, look at me. I don't like you. I don't like you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need you to like me, baby. Just respect me. Keep it moving.
That's so good. That's so good. Because it's easy to get sidetracked. It's easy to get just kind of pulled down by the negativity if you allow yourself to focus on it. So I love the fact that you're like, I literally don't even need you to like me.
No, No.
Okay, so you experienced a lot of loss at a young age. You experienced not just loss, but like traumatic loss.
Yeah.
How has the experience of death shaped your view on life?
It made me really appreciate family more, but also made me not take any day for granted.
Mm.
Every day I wake up, I always say, man, God loves me. I woke up today.
Mm.
So there's somebody out there right now who wish they just had, a good meal. You understand me? It's so much more going on. It's somebody without a roof over their head right now. Somebody, they just maybe lost a limb. Dude, I'm blessed. So it made me appreciate life to the fullest, from the smallest things to the ability to be able to smell. Right?
It's so true. Taste,
everything.
see.
I get to experience, all the functions,
Life.
of life.
Literal, like vibrant life.
So I'm here. I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do. You know.
Yeah.
And whatever that is, I'm gonna keep doing it.
So I was gonna ask you. That's the question I wanted to ask you today. Was what is that? Like, what is your purpose as somebody who? You're an actor, a rapper, an athlete, a business owner, right? Like there's all these different facets of you. And I feel like a lot of people identify to one role in life that they have and they say, that's my purpose. What is your purpose?
My purpose is to bring change and confidence and leadership to the world, right? So when people see that somebody like me can achieve a lot of the things I've achieved, it gives them hope as well. Like I want to bring real hope to people, man. That my purpose is to keep going. That's it. It's just to keep going. So people can use that as a testimony. Like, he kept doing it and he finally got it. It took him 20 years just to get one hit. It took him this long just to get one,
Yeah.
He had a little bitty gym. Now his gym, that. It just takes time.
It does.
Somebody might be able to get it overnight. It might seem like they got it overnight. That's okay. Life's not fair. That's okay. But when your time comes, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because eventually it's going to come as long as you keep working at what you're trying to do.
So good. We're in this day and age of this instant gratification, right? With social media and all the things that we're seeing, the get rich quick thing. And so I think it's important to like give people that heads up that like, hey, sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes, and I think often it takes way longer than what you would hope for, and you got to be able to like really walk through the mud, so to speak, in order to get to the other side, to see the fruit of all your labor.
That's technology. Technology did that.
That's true.
People used to, if you press your phone, you get a reaction. So people are used to things happening quick because they have the devices. So in life, they expect for things to happen just as fast as them using the devices. So there's a disconnect there. So now, we got to get back to showing people the process. Like, trust the process is a real thing. This has been a process for me. Just because my apps can react when I touch them doesn't mean that's how I'm getting successful.
Yeah, no kidding.
Behind those apps, there's a man working, getting a lot less sleep than you.
Yeah, no kidding.
Hitting the gym.
Yeah.
Working it. So
yeah. Where's that hustle and that drive from, right? Like I've read a little bit into your story about how you were, living in your car at some points and you're going to auditions and you're at the gym and like you're like hustling, man.
Yeah.
Like where's that like hustle and drive come from? Because people could experience what you experience, losing family members in a really awful way, and let that make them like paralyzed or like deep and dark and depressed. And, I can imagine maybe you had those moments as well, but like, how did you use that as like fire? Like where did that hustle and drive come from?
My mom, like watching my mom as a really, really young boy struggle and do it, whatever she could, working 2 and 3 jobs to provide, at sometimes, So, and, my mom really was like the source of that. She was the beginning stage of that. That's why I got into fashion for a minute. That's why I was,
no way.
That's why I was, I was a women's shoe manager at Nordstrom, and I was, a stylist as well. So I would style women. And
this makes sense.
So that's where I got that from, right?
Yeah.
So my mom gave me style and grace. And so that's where I get that hustle from. And also I don't want to let my kids down. I got a son and a daughter, and I know I want them to be proud of their father. Because I didn't really have that. I didn't have that growing up. Like, man, my dad does this. My dad's gonna show up to my game, basketball game. I didn't have that.
Yeah, Did you have another father figure like person in your life, or maybe, a few different seasons of your life?
Yeah, several. My coaches, my mentors, they've helped me so much. Even going to college, having other students that took me under their wing. I had the alphas on campus, ISU. They taught me so much, man. They got the fake macho street bravado I was using. They like, you don't got to be tough, man. For the ladies that like you, man. You can just be yourself. Like, it was crazy. I learned so much just how to carry myself with confidence, but be me.
Yeah. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
And I think it speaks to the power of community and of relationships, of mentorship. And it really just shows you that like you in your voice and like when you actually care about somebody, it really matters, right? So like imagine the other students that were part of your class, or like the coach that you had that is just doing his job. He's like coaching on a Tuesday, right? Not realizing like the impact that he's truly having on your life, like in a great way.
Yeah, Coach Youngman was awesome. I tried to quit basketball my senior year because I said I need to make money and help out the house, and my mind was in another place. And he told me, he's like, "Are you crazy?" He like called me a few different names, but he's like, "Yo, you're a starter. How you gonna quit your senior year?" I was like, but I still talk to him to this day.
No way.
Oh man, that's my man.
That's awesome.
My man's.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, when did you start rapping?
I've been rapping my whole life.
Like ever since you were little? Ever
since I was little. Me and my cousin, my brother, Tone, R.I.P., we used to rap in the projects, and we used to rap to the hustlers. They used to give us dollars.
Stop.
So the more curse words we said, and we used to stand on the tables, So we was always entertainers, man. That's what we like to do.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I've been rapping my whole life. I love rap,
What does rap do for you? Like, what is rap and like songwriting? What does that mean to you? And what do you put into that? Like when you're sitting down to like write a song, what are you putting into that?
So it's for me, rap, hip hop, it's therapeutic. It's expressing myself. That, a lot of people, might use other ways to express themselves. They paint, they might work out, they might draw, all that stuff, right? But music to me is so therapeutic. I have to do it. I love it. And what I put into it is I put in my experiences into it, but I use my experiences as teaching tools to help people build and create their own, right? So they can listen to my story. Oh man, I want to, I did that before. Yeah. Oh, I remember. It's relatable, right?
Yeah.
So and hip hop right now it has a dark cloud over it, right? It gets a demonic like take on it, because that's what people see on the industry. It's what they push to the mainstream because that sells.
Yeah.
But there's an art to that, man. That people are missing the art. We're selling the bloodshed. We're selling the destruction. We're misleading people. We're turning our youth into crash dummies. But there is another side of music that could still. It doesn't have to be all bubbly, right? And still be motivating, and still be powerful, because rappers like, in the earlier like Tupac and stuff, they still were able to deliver a powerful message, even though they had the gangster stuff. Like, I know you was a gangster, man, hey, you grew up in poverty, man. I understand. I understand. But guess what? We can change that narrative.
Yeah.
That don't mean we got to stay in that same mindset. Don't let nobody play you at the same time. We got to change the mindset.
That's so good.
Let's lead.
That's so good. And what you're talking about is so important, because I think that's probably one of the biggest kind of issues or problems that I see right now with a lot of the mainstream music is you really got to think like, what is this putting inside of this generation? The thoughts become like their beliefs become like their actions, right? And so it's like if we're constantly feeding them just all the, the gangster side of it without the path, the way, the moving forward, the, personal development side of it, kind of, so to speak, it's like, what path are we leading them down?
It's a business. They gotta generate the dollars from that.
Right.
You get it? Like confusion
100%.
equals more profits.
Yeah.
They don't know what's going on. Cool. Keep them at war with each other. Keep them at war with themselves now. It's even better. Yeah. Let's get them on depressants, and let's promote it through the music. You want this record deal? Here you go. Here's $5 million. Make sure you just make the most destructive, and I don't care. Lie about everything. You're good to go as long as you get we got more people getting in trouble, more people getting on these medicines, medications. There's they're depressed now, they got anxiety.
Yeah.
More crime. It's more money. It's a big game. But and that's why I love being independent. I don't care. I can make my music and tell you the truth. Now, will I get blackballed or something? Yeah, of course.
Right.
Of course I'm going to get, my stuff's going to get funneled.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I'm doing it because I love doing what I do. Mm-hmm. I don't have to be praised by the people who control the industry. That's fine. Or they can be like, what, this dude's actually doing some dope stuff. Mm-hmm. We need to work with him and push this message. We can make money in other ways. We don't have to have the people being sick mentally and physically.
Yeah, no kidding. And I think any time that you're trying to like pave a new path in an industry, right, or do something different than how they've always done it, it's going to take longer. It's going to be a longer, harder road, and you're going to have to push through some shit to actually get to where you're going. Yes. So props to you for doing that and not selling out, so to speak, right? I'm sure it'd be really easy to sell out. I'm sure you've had, those opportunities come across.
Always.
Yeah.
But when you look in the mirror, you got to be able to look at yourself and be like, you know what? I did the right thing. And the right thing might not align with your right thing, but morally, there's a moral compass. And I think people in general at heart are good. You have to be taught to be otherwise.
Wow.
People are naturally, they want to love.
So what about when we hear that, right? Because I'm with you. I agree. When we see hate on a level that's just like, it doesn't even seem like human-like, how do you think people get there?
Again, it's taught behavior. It's taught.
Environment.
And then your environment, where are they positioned at? Where were they born? What tables, what cards were they dealt in the beginning?
Yeah, that makes a huge difference.
Because if they're always in flight or fight mode, they don't get to develop the logic as well, or the sense of reasoning, because they've been scrapping for scraps their entire lives. So all they know is to be.
Yeah. Well, okay, talk to me from your experience, because when you were younger, I remember hearing somewhere that you had a certain goal, right? It was like to get rims on your car.
That was my goal. Was your
goal?
Yeah, 24-inch rims and gold teeth. So
did you do that?
Yeah.
Okay, so how now are you where you're at now, right? Because I imagine there's some people that are younger that are like in that kind of lifestyle, and they're like, yeah, like that's the goal. That's it, right? Like how did your mind expand?
Like after, so once I got that, right, I got the attention I didn't want, right? I thought that I wanted that. I thought that was it. I got gold teeth. I got my rims. Now, the lady's gonna love me. I wanted to be loved. I wanted to be celebrated. So I call it peacocking, right? I was peacocking. Like, look at me. I'm the biggest one in the room.
Yeah.
But once I got it, I was like, all right, what's next? And that's when I went into that deep depression. Oh man, you can see the trend in my music if you research it on YouTube. You can see when I went down that deep depression and losing people around me really did that. You understand?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my goal. And once I got it, I realized it did not make me happy. It did not fulfill me. There's nothing that you can buy that will fulfill you. It can bring temporary happiness.
Yeah.
Right? You can get, but if you're not right with yourself, you're not really truly, you're not loving the way because you want to be able to love. You want to be able to love. And don't get me wrong, money's just a byproduct of success. That's all it is, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So man, that really taught me that I don't need nothing. Stuff doesn't mean anything. That's why I get so much stuff, because I don't need the stuff.
Yeah, right.
When you want it,
it's like this needy energy, or this like lack energy of like, I don't have it yet. Whereas when you have this like abundant mentality, it's like, I'll get it when I want it. It's here. It's coming to me. Like everything that I need is here, and I have access to it, and I have ability to work for it. And when the time is right, I'll have it. Like no questions asked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, I want to go back a little bit to when you were talking about that like really difficult time, that depressive time, and it came through in your music and everything that you were doing. First, I just want to say I think a lot of people go through that path of saying, "Oh, I have this goal," right? And maybe for somebody else, it's like the traditional when I have a house and a partner and two kids and a white picket fence, I'm gonna be happy, right? And I think we like have this idea in our head of what happiness is going to be like. And then we get there. And sometimes that's like the most crushing and defeating feeling is when you get there and you're like, oh my God, like this is not it. And now what am I going to do? Like I
Yeah.
literally thought I put all that work in, all that effort, all those sleepless nights. I'm here and it's still not doing it.
Yeah.
And I think we all experience that. But for you, when you got to like some of those really dark moments, what helped you when you were experiencing that? I talk a lot about like mental health and depression and anxiety and things like that. So like when you're navigating that and you like don't know how to like get out of that dark hole, what are some things that just helped you navigate that?
I spent a lot of time alone. That dark stage was a dark time. That's when you question God, you question your existence.
Mm-hmm.
Why me?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody likes me. Nobody loves me. What did that do for me? It gave me time to learn about me. So all that time I spent alone, now I don't got no money. I don't got no furniture in my apartment. I got a CD burner. I can still make music, right? That's all I had. But then I get to see who really cares about me. Because then you see everybody just go away.
Mm.
Eventually everybody just goes away. Now you become the topic of the discussion of, man, you heard about Mario, man? Dude was walking to work. Yeah, I was walking to work. Man, you heard about Mario, man? His lights cut off. But that was building character.
Mm-hmm.
It was humbling. No more. I'm not in the streets no more. Everything I'm doing is legit. It's gonna take me longer. Yeah, you got a cool car right now. Yeah, she likes you. That's cool. They all like you. They're your brothers. That's fine. And then the table shifted. Finally, but I had to stay the course. And the motivation for that, honestly, is just the love and passion for music and wanting to do better in my community. I wanted to help another person like me. And I hope this interview alone, if somebody's watching this and they want to give up, they want to quit, and you don't think there's no way out, I promise you, I had a pot of spaghetti. I used to stretch it out for the week, and it was hard. And I used to be the man. I fell off. And God humbled me, and I lost everybody around me I love. But you can do it. You just can't give up. Life isn't fair. It's not fair. It's not. But it gets better as long as you try.
Yeah. Whew. That's deep. I think I said this on a podcast the other day. I think one of the biggest illusions is separation of people. Separation from God, separation from each other. And I think it's because a lot of people see what we are externally and they don't realize that like inside it's like the same source of energy, like literally in every single person. And so I think what you're saying right now is really life-giving to that life source. And I kind of just want to add on to that because I know what that's like to feel that way. I know what it's like to question all of those things. And I also know what it's like to feel like literal, like lifelessness within you. And I know what it's like after that to feel abundant life, like vibrant life, like music coming out, right? And so I say that because to the person that feels that lifelessness, that feels what you were talking about, you have to keep going. You have to just choose to left foot, right foot it, if that's all that you can do. I always say that, like, look down at your feet, left foot, right foot. Was it that hard? No. You can do that again. You can do that one more time. So I just encourage you, number one, cut off every single person in your life that is like taking energy from you and taking life from you. Because sometimes it's not even you. Sometimes it's all the people around you that are stealing that life force energy from you. So if you can get yourself alone, if you can work on yourself and have that time for yourself and give yourself the space to ask the hard questions, I think you'll start to come out of that,
It's hard to identify those sometimes too, though, because a lot of those times those people might have titles in your life.
Like what kind of titles?
Family. They might. It could be your brother. Could be your sister.
Yeah.
Could be your uncle. Could be your cousin. You know what I'm saying? So you have to learn to identify those and break the traditional modes. Break down the titles. Take the titles away and start looking at people as people. And to piggyback off what you're saying about God and the people talking about the exterior, that's the ego, right? So me and my homie Royce and my homie Westbrook back in Chicago, we say ego stands for edging God out.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Wow. Because
when you got that ego, you're trying to edge God out.
Yeah.
You're just edging God out.
Yeah.
Come back to reality, baby. You understand? Like, come back.
What in your life has helped raise your self-awareness? You're pretty aware, right? Like for you to even like talk about like the ego and God and consciousness and all of this, like what has helped you in raising your awareness to these things? Okay, before we hear Mario's answer, I wanted to share with you guys a daily practice that I've been doing to increase my self-awareness. And it's just the simple practice of sitting still, getting quiet, and allowing whatever is there to surface. So if I need to feel something or process through something, I do that, but also asking really good questions. I really do believe that we all have this inner divine guidance within us. Sometimes we just don't give it the space to come out. We're filling our minds with so many things and social media feeds, and we're distracting ourselves. How often do you take time to just be in stillness? So what that looks like practically is, for example, I was just on a little trip with my camper van, and I was underneath the stars, and I just sat there outside by myself looking up at the stars, and I was just amazed by its beauty. And I started asking these questions, asking really deep questions. You know, one of the questions that I asked was, what is all of this for? Like, why? Why are we these humans that are on this earth? What is the purpose of this life? And what are the answers? Where are the answers? Like, where are the answers that we seek? And one of the answers that I felt like surfaced in that moment for me was that the keys to the kingdom are literally within. They're within each and every one of us. And so a daily meditation of just getting still, asking questions, being silent, and tuning into that divine wisdom, I believe, will provide the answers that a lot of us are looking for. Now, I've been supplementing this daily practice with one product by Cured Nutrition called the Serenity Gummies. The Serenity Gummies are absolutely incredible. They have CBD, microdose THC, functional mushrooms, and adaptogens. All of these products together help you to find that peaceful center core. So whether you would just want to feel more renewed as you do your daily meditations in the morning or midday, or you just want to relax and wind down at night as you're staring at the stars, asking some of life's deepest questions, this is your sweet escape. If you guys would like to try Serenity, then you can go to curednutrition.com/Emily Hayden and use coupon code Emily Hayden at checkout for 20%. Again, that's curednutrition.com/Emily Hayden and coupon code Emily Hayden at checkout for 20% off of Serenity. Message me and let me know when you guys try it and you have the best meditation, the best journaling practice, and when you're finally able to hear those answers to the questions that you've been asking everyone else except for yourself. I digress. Back to today's show. What in your life has helped raise your self-awareness? You're pretty aware, right? Like for you to even like talk about like the ego and God and consciousness and all of this, like what has helped you in raising your awareness to these things?
Failure.
The thing no one wants to do.
Constantly failing. I'm going to fail at something today probably. I'm going to learn from it. That's it. Failure, heartbreak, being let down. Thank you for letting me down. Thank you. Thank you for letting me down, because you made me stronger. You made me wiser.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's good. I'm gonna start writing thank you notes.
When people do, you suck. Thank you, man. I needed that. That's gonna make me tougher.
I like that.
Thank you.
I like that. That's a good energy.
Straight up.
Talk to me about Rich in Pain.
Oh, man.
I like that song a lot.
Yeah.
I connect to that song a lot.
Yeah. Rich in pain. People always ask me if I'm rich. And I finally was like, you know what? I'm rich in pain. I am. I couldn't be happier and in the darkest moment of my life right now, being in the entertainment industry and being in a position where you're at a crossroad where people think you have more than what you have, and you might have more than what you have, you might not, but they don't care. They're gonna pull from you. So everybody that loves you or say they loved you, now they judge you because they want to know how they can benefit from you financially or resourcefully or some type of way. But they don't know you're still in a fight.
Wow.
So that's why Rich in Pain came out. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna tell you guys the truth. Yes, I never cared about making it first. Yes, I was rapping and walking to work. People were literally driving past me.
Wow.
In their cool cars.
Wow.
And I was dusting it up, kicking the bobo, you know, walking with no dough.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
know? You feel me? So Rich in Pain, everybody can relate to somebody that says they love you, whether your boyfriend or your girlfriend or whoever in your life. And that same person will judge you. But I thought you said you love me. That's me. You judging my failures. This is me.
Yeah. Yeah. Like all of me.
Do you love me or not? Why's it got to be conditional? You only love me what if I lose everything tomorrow? What if I lose a leg tomorrow?
Yeah.
You still love me?
Yeah.
What if I lose it all? Do you still love me? What if I don't meet the expectations you look for? Do you still love me? Will you help me get better?
Wow.
Or you got to leave because I'm not a top tier performing right now. I'm not a top tier performer anymore. That's in life. That's in, or can you help me get back on my feet?
Do you experience a lot of people in the industry that kind of just look to you for like what they can get out of you?
All the time. And they're so convincing.
I was going to say, how do you decipher? How do you?
It's hard because when you got a big heart, I'm always want to help people. Like and I'll be taking spankings, man, all the time, man. And I try to get my street smarts my antennas are always up. Yeah. Because the industry is like the streets. It's the same. It's the same. I promise you it's the same. But you start to develop thick skin. And I understand now why a lot of these celebrities are so guarded, because people become opportunists, and it's the people who you love. They start just draining you, man. They don't even know. They don't understand it.
So I guess you got to learn some healthy boundaries, huh?
Yes, because you don't know, and it sucks.
Yeah.
So that's when management comes into play, when you got a management team, right? So you got to have, when you start getting on that level, and then you can't let people in your life.
Even if you want to.
Even if you want to.
Yeah.
Because they got another game plan going on. So
that's hard.
It sucks.
It does, yeah. And, I'm in a different industry, but like I've experienced a lot of that as well. And it's hard when you value genuine connection over anything and you think that you're getting that. And then you realize like, oh, I'm actually, because I'm not serving you in the way that you want me to, or I'm not giving you X amount of followers or whatever. I've literally had friends say like, oh, I didn't get that many followers when you posted me or something like that. And
somebody said that to you?
I won't say who, but somebody close to me. And I literally was like, that would never even come out of my mouth. Like, I don't actually look. You know what I mean? Like if someone that I'm with, we happen to post together, I literally do not look if people follow me afterwards. Like I'm not there for that. So the fact that this like came out of someone's mouth that like, said that they loved me and whatnot, like I was just like, wow, like I see what that is now, It's one of those hard learning moments where I could say, thank you. I can see through that now, but I get it is what I'm saying. It's a hard reality.
What's up, homie? Yeah, well, how you doing? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I was her friend 10,000 followers ago, but she lost 10,000 followers. What? I mean, come on, man. Stuff is fake. It's not even real.
That's what I say all the time.
It's like, what if it gets deleted? Then what are you going? How do you carry yourself? Well, now what do you understand on your own merits and principles now?
Yeah.
How are you going to measure up if you don't have these these apps that have these science projects of yourself put up.
Yes. So good.
Come on, man.
I say that all the time. People are like, oh, they're Instagram famous. And I'm like, that's literally fake fame. It's literally an app with a number on a screen that could have been, you know, messed with, could have not been, who knows, for real. But it's like you mentioned, like when you strip all of that away, like what do you have, you know?
There you go.
And I think you have to know who you are. You have to know what that life force is. And I genuinely believe that every single person, kind of like a beautiful orchestra, right? Each person has like a different instrument to play. And it's like the flute's sound is so beautiful, but it's even more beautiful when you have the violins and you have the drums and you have everything playing in its rhythm and in its beat, right? And if everyone can find what that instrument is for them and actually be courageous enough to play their sound, not trying, you know, to be someone else, not a flute trying to be a drum. Like, you're never going to sound like a drum. Just stop trying to be a drum, right? But like, if you find your path and your instrument, man, the sound of life really can be so beautiful. So I encourage people to like get around other people that are playing their instrument and playing it well, because they'll encourage you to play yours.
I like that. I think Steve Harvey kind of said something about this, and I always kind of reword it in my own way, because kind of piggyback off what you talked about is everybody has a gift, and I know everybody has they're passionate about something. Just too many times we ignore our gifts. A gift is a God-given talent that you can naturally, or you're naturally good at, that you can increase it, but you're naturally just great at that. And your passion is something that you want to do and you want to be great at. Like I can say, man, I'm passionate about basketball. I'm cold.
So good.
I love basketball.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm subpar below average. You know, I'm just over 6 foot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm not dunking on nobody.
Right.
You know, my 3-pointer is janky. You know?
Yeah.
But I'm passionate about it. I want to go to the NBA. But I'm so gifted at speaking to people and helping people. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to do community service because that's not cool.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ignore this gift that God gave me because I'm my ego.
Oh my gosh.
Boom. Tie it all in right there.
So good. I'm losing my mind right now. I've never had anyone really make that decipher the difference between like passion and gift, right? Because sometimes people are like, oh, just find what you're passionate about and that's like what you're purposeful in. But like you mentioned, I'm passionate about jamming out in my car to music and you do not want to hear me sing, like at all. Sometimes I'm like, I don't even want to hear it, you know? So I agree with what you're saying. I just think it's, wow, I'm going to like put that one in for later.
Yeah, because you might have one gift. Somebody might have 50 gifts.
Yeah.
But everybody at least has one gift.
Yeah. How do you think people could find that? You know, some people are listening and they're like, I wish I knew what that was. Like, I just work and I go to school. What the hell is my gift? How do you think they can start to like find that?
You got to try different things. You got to experience life. You said something very interesting. You said hang around other instruments, people that play the instruments you play. So hang around people that are doing the things that interest you. You might be naturally good at something.
Yeah.
In that field, you know? So you got to get more experience. That's all. That just comes with experience, right?
Yeah. And not being afraid to try new things and put yourself in new environments. There was a period of my life where I realized I was that person that was just like, you know, working and going to school, and then I graduate and I was just like in this, I was like, just, I don't know, I was just like in this lane and I never stopped.
Yeah.
To be like, where am I going and what am I doing? And I realized I was like doing the same thing and I was getting better at it, sure, but like, I was like, I need to try new things. I need to be a beginner. Like I had spent so much time getting so good at one thing. I was very confident, like walking into the room, and I just felt like, you know, really on my shit. And I was like, I need to be humbled, so to speak. So actually one of the things I did is I started Jiu Jitsu.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's dope.
It's a lot of fun. You get humbled immediately there, you know? So, and it's still in the like fitness world, right? So I go from like when I'm in a gym, pretty confident what I'm doing, like people will, you know, come up and I'll help them with their stuff. But then I go to like the jiu-jitsu mats and I'm like this little kid first day of school. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so nervous right now.
How fast would you take me down?
Pretty quickly.
Dang. Hey, now listen, y'all seen this. She just immediately, confidently, didn't even give me a chance to even say anything about my training. She said, I'm taking you down easy, pretty quickly. Like 5 seconds.
No, to be honest, one thing, I just kind of said that just to be funny, but like one thing jiu-jitsu teaches you is to never assume about anyone. You could have this like 65-year-old grandma lady that was well, yeah, she was in the class, right? And she could whoop some butt. Like whoop some butt. Yeah.
Okay.
So like I jokingly say like, oh, quickly, but I have no idea what your skill set is.
Hey, shout out to grandma that's doing jiu-jitsu right now. There's some grandmas out there that's, doing moves on people.
They're crushing it. They're the people at the grocery store that you'd be like, oh, we need to protect them. And they're the ones that would like take an assailant down.
They're like wax on, wax off.
100%.
Wow,
Mr.
awesome.
Miyagi. Oh, I missed that.
That's dope.
Yeah. So, okay, talk to me a little bit about your acting career. So, talk to me about you were on some pretty big name shows. So, kind of, shout out some of those shows and what it was like to get those roles and what are some of your goals in that?
My acting career is awesome, man. I started off being in the background for Chicago PD, had some key little spots on there, Chicago Fire and all those, Med. A lot of TV shows in Chicago, but I ended up getting a guest star role in Empire as a rapper and actor in the show.
That's dope.
Playing a younger version of Terrence Howard, and I got to do music for the show as well. It was an incredible.
How'd you land that?
So I had an audition. Well, I'm trying to speed it up. So check it out.
Okay.
The way this went down was, I had been doing background for Empire for a few years now, sleeping in my car here and there, just doing my thing, struggling a little bit. I ended up getting promoted to stand-in, and then I lost that position. I don't know what happened. So when they called me back to come back and work again, I had told them, like, no, next time I get on the show, I'm going to be on the show for real. Like, I was just, hoping and wishing. So I had audition after audition after audition. I'm talking about straight just next.
Stop.
Man, no.
That's how it goes?
That's how it goes. All right, cool.
It's cold.
And you don't hear nothing back. So finally, I get this audition about being a rapper, a version of Terrence Howard, And I ain't gonna lie, I don't care at this time. I just don't care. I'm like, whatever, man. I ain't finna get this role. I ain't even getting no roles. I'm just gonna go in there and I'm about to be Mario Cannon. Because I'm baby Terrence Howard now. You know what I'm saying? That's how I felt. So I get to the audition, and guys are just walking out, and they're like, man, they're not even, you get to say 2 words, man, and you're done. They don't even let you speak. I was like, oh, man. So then I got a little nervous a little bit. I was like, man, I was like, whatever, I don't care. That's quick. I can get out of here quick and go kick it with my boy, whatever.
Yeah.
You got the script? I said, what script?
Oh, no.
we got to have a script? Yeah, I ain't had no script. So you got all these light-skinned brothers in here trying to look like they all kind of favor Terrence Howard, and just walking out. But they was all well-polished. I looked kind of like a thug because Terrence Howard was a thug, and I had I've been in the streets. Yeah. So I was really thugging, and I brought a big Bluetooth speaker to rap because I thought I was supposed to rap.
No way.
So look, I'm the only one in there with a dang Bluetooth speaker
That's
on,
awesome.
and a big fake gold chain on. You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome.
I'm ready to do the damn thing. I'm ready to do this.
I love this.
So I walk. So they call my name or whatever. I was like, man, I gotta learn this song. I don't know this song. I'm finna just rap my stuff. So I walk in and like, hey, what's your name? I was like, said my name, Mario Cannon. I was like, I'm a real rapper. Okay, you know the song? I was like, can I just rap for you my song? I was like, go ahead. So I started doing my thing. They were like, can you rap another one? I said, yeah. I'm getting my swagger.
Yeah.
I was like, can I cuss? It was like,
can
yes.
I cuss?
It was like, yes, please do. We want you to. That's when I started spitting. I get this song called Holy Ghost. It's a Holy Ghost remix. They were like, oh, you got a lot of pain. That's amazing. They said, do you have a label? I was like, I own my label, right? I got my own label.
Yeah.
And they were like, wow. And that's you? You all original? I was like, yep, it's original. Awesome. I got a call that night. By midnight, already signing paperwork, ready to roll.
Stop.
I swear.
That quick.
It was that quick. I had got a call back that said you got to come back and do it again because you got to go to callbacks. So I went to the callback. It was just like this, boom, boom, all back to back, same night. I'm up at 2 a.m. signing contracts.
Wow.
Then I get moved up to start filming like the next 2 days. I'm in the studio. Wow. I'm one taking everything because these, if you guys didn't know, PD Pablo wrote a lot for Empire, actually. I think him and Terrence Howard are friends.
Okay.
But, or we're friends, I don't know. But I know then he wrote stuff. So when I had the lyrics, I'm used to, I've been rapping my whole life.
Right. So you're like one and done in it.
So they were like, man, you got that done quick, man. Like, yes, I do this.
Yeah.
I was in my moment, man, and I ran into
Yeah.
so many. I got so much love and praise, you know, and they put me in the paper and stuff like that. But
That's awesome.
it was so dope, man. That experience, man. Everybody on the cast was cool, man. I met some incredible actors on set, like so many dope people who do stand-in, and we're still friends to this day.
Wow.
Background actors and stuff, man. We family.
Wow.
Family, man. Family.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So
wow.
So that was my breakout. And then in 2020, I won Best Actor in Chicago.
What's up?
For
That's
the
awesome.
40-hour film festival. And that was during COVID time.
That's awesome. Wow. Congrats on all that, man.
Thank you.
Because like you really put the work in, and not just that, like you had this unwavering belief in yourself. That's what you had to have. You had to have had unwavering belief in yourself and in where you were going.
Yeah.
Because how else would you have made it through all those days and nights? And it's like, it's not just that you had these practical hardships that you were going through, like mentally, and just the losses and the pain and the heartache that you're going through. I literally cannot even imagine, you know?
And I got more to go through.
Mm-hmm.
I got more lessons that, you know, God's going to hit me with,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because, you know, you never stop learning.
Yeah.
You always got to be a student of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I'm gonna keep getting lessons. I'm gonna have to study so I can take the test again. And
Have you been
pass it.
writing these down, like these lessons, you know? Because I feel like it needs to be in a book.
Yeah. Well, that's, man, you know who said I need to write a book? Brad Lee.
Yeah?
He told me to write a book, and he said I need my own podcast.
1000%. That was the next question.
Yeah.
You know,
I
like, you
got
have
it.
so much like goodness and like life lessons and the way that you speak, and it's just really impactful.
Yeah.
And yeah, your story is incredible too, and it like gives a lot of substance to what you say, but you have a perspective that's different. I think it should be shared. And I know you do that through everything you do, but write the book.
It's time. Yeah. Hey, shout out to Bradley, man.
Yeah, shout out to Bradley. I actually just had him on my show yesterday.
What?
Yeah.
You got him on
He
your
was
show?
here. Yeah.
He was in here.
He was right where you are.
Bizzle was in Hizzle.
Is that his name?
No.
I should have known.
No, that's my boy, man. Yeah, he likes my song called Stevie J. He thinks that's the
dope.
He thinks that's the coolest
his
song.
favorite.
No, he be bumping it. He always
awesome.
bumping it. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a good dude, man.
By the way, while we're shouting out some friends, shout out to Peter Meyerhoff, one of my good friends and your friends, for hooking us up and making the connection.
Man, Chappie.
Yeah.
Hair nappy, but I'm chappy, pocket full of dough. I always say when he calls me, that's how I answer the phone every time.
Stop. Do you have
Yeah.
little sings for like some of your favorite people like that?
I do. You know what? I'm just good at like giving people cool nicknames and stuff. And like,
Okay.
you know, like I just give people
So I'll know
nicknames.
you'll like me when I get a nickname one day.
Yeah.
That we're cool.
Well, you gonna get a nickname.
Yes.
It's gonna happen because you're gonna take me, you know, boom.
Yeah, 1000%.
See, that's crazy. Like you said it again. Like,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
good.
You know what? I thought about this today, actually. I was like, with a lot of the things I'm doing in my life, honestly, some crazy shit sometimes. I'm like, where does this confidence come from? It's not confidence that I'm going to be able to do it. It's that I'll be able to figure it out if I don't.
There you go.
That's literally it.
That's life.
Yeah.
You got
that's
to figure
true.
it out.
Yeah.
Just figure it out.
All right. So before we wrap up here, we're kind of near the end of the show. I did want to ask, because you mentioned a few times, like God's going to keep giving you these lessons, right? How does God, faith, spirituality, how does that play a role in your life? And what is your understanding of that currently? Like, what is that in your life right now?
I mean, there's no way you can move forward if you don't believe in something. You got to believe. So if you believe in you, and if we're made in God's image, then you believe in God.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I roll.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So you can't. So you can. Everybody's got different religions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fine, as long as you believe in God. And again, God is love too.
Mm-hmm.
Get it? Self-love. You love God. You love people. Like me and you are the same.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You keep it that simple. Life is a lot easier. People
kidding.
overcomplicate things, man.
I agree.
It's simple.
Do you ever think that, like, say that there's like a heaven, right? But do you ever think that God's up there and he's like, what are these humans doing? Like, what are you guys doing? You're literally making everything so much more complicated than it has to be.
That, that's the energy that you pulling from inside, right? So so we connect on that,
Yeah.
but we don't got to connect on that. That's God right there.
Oh my gosh.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because you spoke that unconsciously to me, and I'm inheriting that, right? I'm taking that in.
Wow. I like what you said too, that, right, God is love, because I believe that too.
Yeah.
And one thing I try to just as a way to recenter myself is I always say, like, return to love. Because anytime that I'm not in love, I'm in something like fear, I'm in, maybe pain or heartache or discouragement or depression or something like that. So I always just try to return to love however I can. And I find that when I do that, I'm able to return to God. Whereas previously, when I had this understanding of God being this like external thing that I needed to like go to God, he was like somewhere else, right? It's like sometimes I felt like I couldn't find him.
Yeah.
But I can always find like the love within, which is him.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, thanks for letting me process that. I realized I just went on a little tangent.
No, that was powerful. That was needed.
Thank you.
That was a necessary texture that you just provided, so I like it.
Thank you. Well, this conversation has been incredible. Thank you so much for your time and for being willing to share all the incredible things that you've done, the difficult things that you've been through, and the lessons that you've learned, because this podcast alone is going to help so many people. So thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you for having me, and I hope y'all just be powerful out there and understand that somebody does love you. Every day you wake up, there's love, and just learn to love yourself.
Couldn't say it any better. Thanks so much for being here. You guys know the drill. If you enjoyed today's show, please do us a favor. And if you feel like there's someone on your mind right now that needs to hear this message, just text it to them. You can share it on your stories. Tag us both if you do. Don't forget, his information is going to be linked down below on all of the description box, all the channels. So give him a follow, send him a DM, let him know what was impactful from this show. And check out his music on Spotify. It's pretty dope. You guys will be loving it, especially for, when you're in the gym and you're trying to kill it. There's a lot of really good lyrics in there. I definitely, like I mentioned, Rich in Pain is one of my favorites. So check him out, follow him, support him, give him all the love. And you guys, don't forget that the way that you help the world is truly by first helping yourself and being that loving presence that you wish to experience and seeking that personal growth and development in your life. If you will do that, life will get good. I promise. So no matter what you're going through, don't ever lose that hope. Love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Done. That was dope.
Easy money.
Yeah.